I'm listening to fugues on YouTube and trying to find some way to compare our relationship to the fugues. They're so familiar. But I think our relationship is not like a fugue. A fugue is like a trap door, and that is pointless until the moment when it becomes useful. Sometimes the simplest trapdoors are the most profound. Anyways, you didn't ask me anything about the fugue. I forgot that you were not just an appendage, and I said, do you want to make an OkCupid account? You said, what are you talking about? I said something unintelligible while piecing together newly forming ideas, such as the fact that you were a separate body from myself, that we were dating, that what I said was unprofessional, and that unprofessional wasn't the right word to describe my behavior, since this wasn't a workplace. Inappropriate was better, or confusing, or bad. You made a goofy face and looked at my wrist as if I had a watch on, in reference to some kind of sketch comedy situation, I think. You said, I'm not sure what's going on. One time you accused me of ovulating, and I said, why? Because I'm talking about chocolate-covered heart-shaped marshmallows? The space in my life I've designated for you seems to be much too big, and you seem to have a low to medium level interest in being there. You said that my queef sounded like the end of a ketchup bottle, and I somehow felt happy about that. It's like I'm trying too hard to feel happy. Sometimes I'm so aroused that all I can do is frantically eat birth control pills. I meant for that to sound more punk rock. I am the strong female lead in my own currently in development novel, and I can do anything I put my mind to, even if it is remaining in a very difficult and frustrating relationship with low emotional payoff. Know that that's what's happening. You said, this conversation has no basis in reality, but I guess that's because relationships are only interesting in concept. After I had said something like, I'm not sure if you actually like me or if you're just here. Although what I meant to say was, please hold me, because if you don't, I don't know what I'll do. But after I said that, I felt like you would interpret it more like, I think neither of us could do any better, but that's not really a reason to stay, and that you were about to ask, do you ever visualize us together in the future and feel disappointed? And that the simple answer would be yes, but more specifically, not even very far into the future. Romance is such a funny term. Funny as in, I have a fake body part, guess what it is? The protagonist in my novel is called I, and she doesn't even know that she's in love with the French antagonist until she kisses him, and then explains that she normally doesn't kiss French boys unless she believes that it will increase her overall emotional stability and or preserve the positive aspects of her self-image in terms of spontaneity, recklessness, and international significance. There's a moment that foreshadows the kiss in the beginning of the novel where someone asks the protagonist and the French antagonist if they are dating, and the protagonist and the French antagonist both say no at the same time. Then the French antagonist says, that was one of those moments where one person is like, and the other person is like, and the protagonist says, were you going? And the French antagonist says no. It kind of feels like I'm writing the same thing, but maybe I just keep being the same person. Later in the novel, joint purchases are alluded to, and the French antagonist gets a haircut at the protagonist's request. Protagonists in novels can be selfish and awful and manipulative and pathetic, and still we read page after page and call them true and try to see ourselves in them. I'm jealous that that's the way it works for protagonists in novels. I guess I'm still coming to terms with the fact that when I walk out of a room, the storyline continues in the room I just left, instead of following me around like a security camera. Sometimes you look at me in this way that says, I haven't heard a thing you've said in 3 years, and then you would make a joke about how shitty my new recipe was. Well, if you hate my new recipe so much, why don't you get a restraining order against it? I feel heartbroken today, but I don't know. Sometimes I get that way when I'm fucking hungry. Sometimes it seems like the whole day is spent listening to songs about you. I think of what you might be doing in the world at that particular time, and I try to imagine you doing it. I try to think of something to say while you do this imaginary activity, and I slur the most important part. I'm visualizing the letters that make up your name, but my brain has written it in Courier, and the font size is too small, and I feel irritated by it. That's it.